Hi, welcome back to the Arsenal Fans Focus. Today we're going to be diving in, talking about the Sunderland game, the draw, and well, we're going to talk about the draw at the Stadium of Light, and the results getting Arsenal fans. I don't know, are Arsenal fans rattled? Because I'm hearing some things they're worried about that game, but we'll dive into that. As always, got my two Gooner friends with me, Adam and Jake, and we're just gonna dive into it and talk about how they saw the games, how they see things moving forward. Also, let's get into it, and Arsenal will drop. Let's drop. This is. I want to get into it because I want to talk about something else quickly. But anyway, how you doing, Adam? How you doing?
Yeah, all good, mate. Thanks. You?
Doing good, mate. How you doing, Jake?
Yeah, all good, mate. Thank you.
Adam, bruv, I just want to first dive into how did you see that game and overall with Sunderland? Was it a fair result, or did Arsenal lose? I mean, drop the 2 points.
It was. You could argue it was a fair result. I think second half we were much better. First half it wasn't great. Second half I think we should have probably seen it through, but I don't think it's been a really bad point at the end of the season. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people this year. They've lost 2 games. It's a tough place to go. Like I said about Newcastle a few weeks ago, it's a tough round to go to. Every game for them is a cup final at the moment. So I think if we started the first half like we did, we finished like we played most of the second half, we'd have won it by a couple of goals, and we still could have won it late on, even after they equalised. But I have to say they're one of the best teams we played this year. They were combative. I thought they were probably the most dangerous team we played in 7 or 8 weeks as well. It wasn't like Ryan made some good saves as well, and I don't think we were dreadful. I just think that it wasn't quite at our peak, and I think it wasn't a bad. Again, it's a bad point on the basis for how late you lose it, but I don't think it's a horrendous point in the context of the league. So tricky one. I think it's probably 2 points dropped on the position of where we were, but I don't think it would be a bad point in 2 months' time.
Jake, what was your emotional reaction when Brandbrew just got that equaliser? Was it a relief, or did you feel again we've lost that momentum, or it's going to be a blip, or what was your feeling?
I was just hugely frustrated because after the Trossard goal, I thought, yeah, we're on a hell of a run here if this result stays the same. I was unfortunately watching the game with a Sunderland fan, which was very, very frustrating. But yeah, my initial thoughts of that particular goal was just, what is Raya doing? Why didn't you stay on your line for the second goal? Because he would have caught that quite easily if he just stayed on his line, I imagine. So yeah, initially frustrated. I was very upset after the game, but a couple of days out of the game, I've sort of, Sunderland were a very good side. I think they're 4th in the league now, and obviously on the basis of some great form, they beat Chelsea away. So there's little things we've got to remember about that. The Stadium of Light, first time having Premier League football for a while. The fans were well up for it. Obviously, we had a poor start in the first half. Defensively, we weren't great. But yeah, we were just making sloppy passes, sloppy decisions, and came back to bite us in the ass. I'd probably say it was a fair result.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, I don't know. So, what do you think, Adam? Do you think Arsenal's performance level dipped compared to recent matches, or do you think Sunderland was just good on that day? What do you reckon?
Bit of both. I mean, we started slowly. It's not the first time we've started slowly, and this time we didn't get away with it. I think there's been games where, again, I know it was different. We mentioned the Brighton Carabao Cup game a few weeks ago where we could have been 2-0 down, and it was one of those games where we started slowly and they took advantage of it. It was the first team that's actually kind of punished us for starting a little bit slowly, and it felt like almost like we went up there and went, just keep it tight for the first half, keep it to 0-0, we'll nick a goal and then we'll just see it out. I predicted 1-0 before to Arsenal, and it didn't really surprise me how we set up, and it felt like it was like a let's quieten the crowd down. I think Jake's mentioned it a couple of times where we did it at Anfield and Old Trafford. Let's quieten the crowd down and we'll ease ourselves into it. And I think it just got to the point where like we need that kind of rocket up the arse at half time to go and kind of like go into the next gear. And I think for half an hour in the second half, it was the best football we played for about 5-6 weeks. Really, although the result wasn't our best result in the last 5-6 weeks, it was the first time where we started cutting through a defence. Obviously, two open play goals, and it just felt like it was. There was some quite incisive football going on, and we pressed very high up, and then the urgency came through the team well. So yeah, it was a real strange one. I think Sunderland have to take a lot of credit. Again, the newly promoted side, and that is the kind of team you're expected to go and beat. However, I think it's been overanalyzed, and we say, like, I think you've kind of mentioned it a minute ago. You are going to drop points in a title run, and we weren't going to win every game, and you are going to drop points at places you probably shouldn't do at times. I think the overreaction's been a little bit of a let's try and get Arsenal rocking a little bit more than again. If City had drawn 2 up there, I don't think it'd have been a major inquest. I think it's the fact that let's try and get this kind of Arsenal bottle job kind of narrative going early to try and get the title race back on again.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think when you strip it all back, it was just we've played very well all season. Rice switched off for the first goal, and Raya had a rush of blood to the head for the second goal. So I'm not really overthinking it too much. At 2-1 in the 90th minute away from home, of course, we want to be doing better, and we should have defended better. Gabriel was a little bit of fault as well, just for his positioning, I'd say. But again, these players have been brilliant all season. It was frustrating. With the injuries we have, we didn't have any attackers to come off the bench. And actually change the game for us, even though we've obviously got a massive squad now. It's just unfortunate that older attackers or people like Martinelli, Havertz, etc., they couldn't come off the bench and do anything for us. So yeah, it's one of them. I think it's a nice little wake-up call to have before the Tottenham game, and some really big games coming up. So yeah, at the time I was frustrated because I had a Sunderland fan shouting in my face, but yeah, apart from that, I think probably a fair result.
Who was the Sunderland fan?
It's my neighbour, weirdly enough. It was my neighbour's kid that I've just known for a while.
Listen, you tell him. Well, yeah, if you want the boys to come round, I'll send Adam round. All right, just
yeah. Ding dong.
All right, I want to talk a little bit about the defenders. 9 clean sheets, and finally conceded twice. I don't know about you, but it hurt. It did hurt. All right, 1, but 2, that really hurt me. And look, Adam, how much of this would you was it down to individual mistakes, or was it a team issue?
Bit of both, Jake. So the first half, there was a lot of errors from a lot of players. I think Zubimendi was probably was the standout player for me in the first half. But again, there was a lot of players that weren't really on it. The players you would expect to say it was just unforced errors. You say for Declan Rice to kind of fall asleep for the first goal. They got in behind a couple of times, so. I don't know. It was a strange one. In some ways, I think in some ways it's not great conceding 2 goals, but I think in some ways it might take the pressure off the 15-goal thing. It started becoming a bit of can we chase Chelsea's record down? And I think in some ways it was almost dictating how we were playing a little bit. It was almost like, let's go and win games 1-0 and be really tight. And I think once that record kind of goes out the window, it freed us up massively second half. It's the most free flowing football we've done. And where we went obviously once we equalised and we scored again, and we could have got another one quite quickly. Yeah, the one that hit the bar as well, we would have wrapped it up. It felt like I haven't seen us that free flowing for a long time, and it felt like, okay, now we've conceded the goal and the clean sheet's gone, we might as well just take the shackles off. And I'm hoping that will be the positive that comes out of it, that we go, hold on a second, we are a really good attacking side. Our defence is superb, but we've got some great attacking ability even with the injuries we've got. And I'm hoping it will free us up a little bit for future weeks. And I think we'd accept the odd defensive lapse, if we are going to get 3 goals at a place. And I think the problem was it was more highlighted because we dropped points from it, and it was the first time in 10 weeks. Now, the second goal we've conceded, we've analysed Gabriel, we've analysed Raya. Yeah, both were probably at fault, and Raya especially. But I can understand why instinctively he came out to try and punch it. And I think had that been a goal conceded at 3-1, or it'd have been, you know, we conceded 5 goals in the last 6 weeks. I don't think it had the scrutiny it was. It's because it's the first goal we conceded. Everyone's jumping on it going, we have to really overanalyze where you can get Arsenal. And I think it's, you know, hopefully we'll just brush it off and it'll be okay.
But you just said there that you can understand why he came out to punch it. Why? No. Sorry, he didn't come out to punch it.
What for me, like
he came out to catch it.
Well, he came out to try and get to the ball.
He came out to catch with the way his hand. He came out to catch the ball.
Now, for me, like if you look at the ball's coming quite softly, like he instinctively as a goalkeeper, we've watched it slow mode countless times now we know that obviously it was a very hard finish. He wasn't going to get much purchase on it. So if Ryan had stayed on his line, it'd been an easy catch. Now he's seen the ball come out to 7 or 8 yards outside, and he's a keeper that comes out and claims stuff a lot. I think instinctively in that moment, he's not thinking he's gone right. I can get to that ball. He's a slight misjudgment and he's not reached it. But I can see why, because it wasn't like it flashed in. He's flown past it. He's gone in thinking I can get there first, and he's just misjudged it slightly. That's why I can see why he's done it. Like it does look bad once you realise that all the player has to do is then connect with it rather than actually put some good purchase on it. I can see why instinctively he's gone for it. But
you say that you can see instinctively he went for it. But in them certain scenarios or cases, goalkeepers normally do punch the ball. I'm still trying to get around my head. Why does he think, number one, there's 2 players?
He wasn't close at all.
No.
I think Gabriel started to move. So that's why Gabriel looked bad, because he started to move, because he probably heard a shout maybe from Ryan.
Because that was going to be my question to you now, because I was going to ask you about Gabriel. Gabriel got. He got out muscled by a Brobby, whatever his name is. Is it
Brian Brobby?
Yeah. All right, got muscled out for that equaliser. Jake, is that just one of moments, or do you think that's fatigue creeping in?
No, not at all. I think literally it was just a rush of blood from right to the head. He normally comes out and claims it, and we don't talk about it. Do you know what I mean? It's
not Ryan I'm talking about. I'm talking about Gabriel.
I don't think Gabriel was really at fault. I think. Obviously, well,
England just scored.
I think it's 80% Raya and 20% Gabriel. I think obviously we couldn't hear, but I reckon Gabriel's got the shout, because Gabriel's normally quite good in those positions, and I think Raya should have been looking in front of him and being able to see that.
Just a newsflash to everyone. Newsflash to everyone. Saka just scored for England.
Big up. One thing I'd like to say about Saka and Eze. I was screaming at the telly in the first half saying I do want more from these players. I'm not sure if you found that in the game, or especially Eze over the last couple of games. I just feel like he could be doing a lot more. Don't get me wrong, he's not necessarily doing anything wrong.
What more do you want to see Eze doing? But even though we're talking about Gabriel, what more do you want to see him doing?
I want him to get on the ball. I want him to get on the ball more and start doing Eze stuff. Because I don't. Do you feel like we're seeing the best of Eze? I don't feel like we're anywhere near.
I wouldn't say we've seen the best of him as yet, but I do see him every game that he plays. He's doing his best. He's trying to get to that level of where he knows he can be.
I just thought Saka and Eze could have done more in the first half.
Yeah, no, I agree. With
the goal, I think yeah, we'll take it on the chin.
Yeah, let's stay with Gabriel for now. Yeah, and then we'll talk about those guys in a minute. Yeah, you love guy moving on, don't you?
Yeah, I didn't get the momentum. Gabriel, we'll stick to Gabriel. Gabriel, I didn't think it was too bad. I just think it was a mix-up between goalkeeper and defender, and the striker's stuck a leg out, and he's at the jackpot. So, yeah, annoying, frustrating, bad time to concede, but a little blip, we'll get over it.
Again, we'll talk Williams. Saliba. He had a great moment. He had a great chance, but again, that went over. That shot went over the bar.
He was still travelling.
Say again?
He was still travelling that ball.
I think landed London.
Yeah, I can see it just past my window. Do we need more composure from our defence in these kind of key moments, or?
I think he just landed the wrong person. Again, I've never seen Saliba as a goal threat. I think he kind of put us into a full sense of security, that goal at Bournemouth when he first came to Arsenal. You know, he kind of flashed one into the top corner with his left foot from 25 yards, and I think, oh, here we go. Like, but he isn't a great. It was a classic centre backs finish. Like, he leant back. It was almost like I'm clearing it out of my own lines in, getting out the field, and it was a horrendous finish. But I mean, to be honest, I think, as I say, we shouldn't be relying on defenders to be composed in those situations. I think, as Jake said, I think Eze had one really good jinky run where he got in and cut it back, and that's what I think Jake means in it, right, where the Palace Eze, where he takes the ball and kind of by the scruff of the neck and goes around 2-3 players. At the moment, he's playing it very safe. He's not been bad. I actually think he's looked more of a threat on the left than he has centrally for us when he's played. Whether he feels he's got more license to attack the fullback than he has, kind of like maybe he's got a bit more of a disciplined role, playing in the kind of 10 role at the moment. I do think when Odegaard's fit that he will have more getting minutes on the left again, because I think I don't know, the balance, it feels a bit odd at the moment. And I do think we're missing Odegaard a little bit creativity wise in there. And I think once he does come back, then that shape, that balance will come back a little bit more.
You know something that worries me? I mean, not worries me. That just brought something in my head. What does that say about Ethan? Where does that leave? Where does that, Jake? Where does that leave Ethan? I mean, what Adam just said there, we're missing. But isn't Ethan the person that should be the one that steps in when Odegaard's out?
I think he's had a couple of chances this season and hasn't really shone. I can't remember the last game he played, who he started against. Was it Champions League?
Yeah, he played. That's the last game. Yeah,
couldn't get a sniff of, or couldn't really get into the game at all. Was struggling to find a position or get on the ball at all. So, yeah, I don't think Ethan's going to be. He probably was a better option to come on, even on the right or something like that. I'm not saying drop Saka or take Saka off, but I think, like Adam was saying, I think these sort of players were probably only going to get the best of them at this time on the wing, not in a disciplined.
But they could turn around and say, "Look, it's just lack of not lack of consistency, but lack of games."
Yeah, it could be potentially. It's difficult. We are very structured in the way we play football at the minute, and I feel like we've lost a sense of freedom, and that's probably why Saka and Eze aren't at their best, or we're not getting the best out of them at the minute, because we are so disciplined in the way we play and defend. So yeah, I think that's what probably is stopping Eze and probably Nweri at the minute. It's just this disciplined role. You'll go out there, we'll win 2-0, and we'll do a professional job rather than playing a beautiful way of football. But if we get a trophy at the end of it, obviously we'll all be happy. But
we hope so. Look, I want to move on to the midfield. Zubimendi was absolute excellent again. Even though he cost us, I mean, the first goal for the free kick, for the first goal. But Adam,
was that Rice, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. It was
Rice got bullied off the ball, and
was it?
No,
Rice?
I think it was Zubimendi gave the foul away, but it was debatable whether it was a foul. Is what you mean? Yeah.
Oh, before, yeah.
What game are you watching, pal?
England, Serbia, mate. See you in a minute. I'll tell you where.
Adam, what do you make of the performance and the midfield trio?
I think again, defensively, it's going really well. I think, like you said a minute ago, you look at the players. It's unusual for a team to be 4 points clear, and everyone's talking about their best players being, people are saying our best players this season have been Rice, Zubimendi, Gabriel, and Timber. And now that's like, that's a very solid 4, isn't it? No one's really talking about, Eze, Gyökeres, Saka being PFA Player of the Year. People are talking about Gabriel, Rice, and Zubimendi being in the mix for it. And I think that's the issue at the moment. Whether it's our pragmatic approach or whether the defensive players are playing a little bit better at the moment. I think Rice and Zubimendi, they've got a beautiful kind of relationship going already. I think that the pivot, one goes, one stays. Zubimendi's freed Rice up so much. Rice is looking like the kind of old West Ham Rice, where he's just completely bossing the games. And Trossard for me stood out a little bit on Saturday. It was probably his best performance for a few weeks. I know he scored some goals in those weeks, but it was the first time I felt like he always looked a threat even before he scored. I think the creativity wise, I say, like there's more to come. At the moment, defensively, we look like the midfield looks very solid. It's just that kind of consistency from the wings, from a kind of goal assist point of view, and getting Eze into those kind of numbers that we know he can get. And I think we're not far away, but at the moment there's probably a little bit too much work on Zubimendi and Rice to protect the kind of the wins at the moment, rather than let's go and win it 3-0, and then if we concede a goal, so be it.
Okay, well, Declan Rice, he does look strong, but maybe not. He wasn't as dominant as usual. Jake, do you think he's feeling the workload at this early season?
Not at all. I think he's had a great season so far. I think it was just a one-off. That was just a one-off. He probably didn't realise that was Ballard behind him. He was a bit of a unit. And just maybe a lapse concentration. He just nipped in front of him and then scored the goal for the first goal. But apart from that, Rice has had an outstanding season. It's going to be hard if he's playing week in, week out for England and week in, week out for us. We are going to have to rest him at some point because, he seems to play 90 minutes every game. I didn't think there's any problem with Rice. I think it was just a bit of a.
Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that, Alan?
Yeah, it probably wasn't his most dominant performance, but I think he was still very lively. Carried the ball out well. He was still very good. I think, as you say, I know, Pat, you've mentioned about kind of trusting the squad on previous podcasts, and I think once we go through the Spurs game, we're pretty much most midweeks we're playing until the end of December. There's an awful lot of games from the end of November to December. I think we're going to have to trust players like Norgard and. As you said, Waneri, and obviously, I think the good thing is we've got a lot of players coming back fresh. In 2-3 weeks' time, we're going to have Madueke, who's had a 4 or 5 week break, if not longer. Jesus has obviously not played any football this season. Havertz has played minimal football, so we're going to get some fresh legs in there. And I think there's a lot of. Hopefully, there's a lot of fixtures. No disrespect, there's going to be some home fixtures where you'd expect to win. And hopefully be able to rotate a little bit more we've had a lot of tough fixtures so far, and we've got a few of the lower teams coming up at home. Again, no disrespect to people like Wolves. If you've got Wolves at home, hopefully you can be in a position after 65 minutes where you can bring Norgard on for Rice, and you can start bringing on Waneri for Eze and stuff, and you can start rotating a little bit easier. At the moment, we haven't had too many games where we've been comfortable. Burnley was about the first one where we, again, you saw Norgard come on, and it hasn't really had many other minutes. And I think we need games like that where we that's the problem with winning 1-0 every week. You don't really have that opportunity to rotate. And I think we can get games over the line quicker, then we can start doing that a bit more.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about Eze. He did look isolated at times. Arsenal for me, I'm going to ask both of you. For me, he looked isolated at times. Arsenal are sometimes missing that central spark when it comes to get to scrap when it gets scrappy. I don't know. Am I looking into this too much, or what do you? I think
it's just we're so risk averse. Normally, we've always had that creative spark in the midfield for years and years and years. That's always been able to unlock defenses or play a lovely ball through, something like that. But we're so risk averse that I think we know how we're going to turn up and play. We're going to play it to the wings, pass it around, dominate the game, and take our chance when it comes.
But isn't that what you was talking about with Eze? Because I thought that's what we brought Eze in as well, because he's very good when it comes to low blocks.
He is, but he probably had more freedom and more of a free role at Palace than he will have at the Arsenal, unfortunately. So
then are we not? Are we not letting? So we're holding back. So are we holding back his potential?
He didn't play against many low blocks with Palace as well, Pat. If you look at a lot of Eze's best performances were against the big teams. Where he scored against Liverpool, Chelsea. He was good against us. And a lot of the time when he was at his best were a big away grounds where Palace were kind of under the cosh and they break quickly. A lot of the time at the moment, again, I think he's getting used to the fact he's getting more touches than he did against Palace. But a lot of time he's got two players in front of him straight away. When he was at Palace and it was like him, Ismail Assar and Mateta on the break, he had a lot of space to kind of play those 1-2s and break. Now I think weirdly we might see the best of Eze away in Paris or away in a big Inter Milan away where he gets that little bit more freedom, and I think again some of those big performances against those big teams is where he will really step up because he's used to playing that kind of football where you don't dominate the ball as much as we do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know what you guys thought, but I thought we'd probably come on to the attackers now, but I thought Gyökeres was a massive.
yeah, we will do. You are so good. You are so brilliant. But okay,
Oh, was that coming? Oh, yeah, it's now. Yeah, let's talk about Gyökeres now.
but listen, funny enough, we're going to get onto the attacking side of things. No. All right. I was going to say let's flip it to a positive, There. No, but Saka and Trossard both got on the goals, both got onto the score sheet. I mean, and both looked sharp. Adam, what impressed you the most about Saka's finish? Because don't forget, Saka scored on his weak foot. On his weak foot.
I think it was just the speed of the break of the firstly, not just from a Saka point of view. Again, we won the ball up very high, and as Jake said, sometimes it's a little bit kind of stodgy, and it was straight away. It was ping, 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 like 2-3 passes in between. Marino played the ball exactly the right time, and Saka took it so early that he beat the keeper at the near post. It's not often you see a keeper beating the near post, but that's Saka. The beauty of Saka's finishes, you never quite know which way he's going to go. I mean, the one for England tonight, it's an unbelievable volley, and it's like, he took that early near post. He can slam it roof of the net. Sometimes he'll bend it far corner, and that's the thing. Like with a keeper, it's very hard to set up for that. And I think that was what impressed me most about the finish was it was taken so early. It was a weird one. I don't know if it's straight for you. I wasn't sure it was in straight away. The colours of the net in Sunderland. Like when he went past the keeper,
I know.
Really odd,
yeah.
Even Trossard's one, like the net, it was like, oh, that's Jesus, that's in. Like, and I think it was in some ways it kind of surprised me how quickly he took it, but. That was Saka at his best, like he runs in behind, kind of like times run perfectly, and that's what I loved about the goal. Whereas Trossard's completely the opposite end of the thing was, like trying to shift a yard and find that space, and unbelievable here. So it was good to see a variation of goals. We've joked about the set pieces in here, but I think what was great about both goals was like if you come and trying to like play us, we'll kind of press you down and we'll go and break on you, or if you sit deep and we've got a player like Trossard, give him a yard and we'll go and smash it in the net from 25 yards. So how do you defend against both things?
No, what do you say? Well, I was going to ask you the same question, but let me ask you because Adam did speak about Trossard beautifully, and obviously absolutely amazing goal. Are we seeing him develop as one of the leaders in the teams this season now? Do you reckon, Jake?
I think Trossard's had a great season. I think it was probably his future was up in the air in the summer, and we didn't really know if he was going to be either a bit part player or no longer at the club. So I think he's really starting to nail down that place on the left-hand side, especially with the goals and like Adam said, that performance is the main thing. He seems to be really because we've always had this with Trossard where he'll come on as sub, make a real impact. We start him for a few games and we don't really see the best of him. So it was good to see that he is actually every game now. He's pretty much taking his chance or affecting the game in a positive way. So
and don't forget as well. I mean, don't forget in the summer, people were saying to sell him in the summer. Yeah. I mean, people were really literally saying, "Look, let's just make this. Let's just cash in." And I got to be honest with you, I was one of them. Yeah. I was one of those people say, "Look, let's just cash in and bring in what was his name from Real Madrid,
Rodrigo."
Yeah, and once again, I've heard that we've been linked with him, but let's just forget about him because if he didn't want to come in the summer, we don't want you. We don't want you in the winter. You know what I mean? So that's what I think. Anyway, and so no, but so do you think, Adam, that Mikel made a right choice not to get rid of him?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was 27 odd million, and even the problem with Trossard is that he's admitted himself he doesn't like being on the bench. I think Mikel said he's a bit of a sulk when he's not on the bench, but that's not a problem. And I think I was surprised how many starts he's had. I mentioned a few times Martinelli's quite lively. He's come on, and I think a couple of times he's been unlucky not to start. But Trossard has delivered. He's delivered big goals this season.
So would you say now is in front of Gabriel?
It's hard one to say. I think they rotate like they have before. I think it will depend on the opponent. But he has delivered, and I think he's still probably the best finisher at the club. Maybe Gyökeres would argue that. I mean, again, we'll probably yet see the best of Gyökeres' finishing in an Arsenal shirt. But he's probably the most natural finisher I've seen at the club in the last 2-3 years. And he scores big goals, and he's like. I think I mentioned it before. He reminds me a little bit of Alex Hleb. Sometimes he can kind of get out, he can jing his way out of little spaces, and he creates something, and he plays little balls in behind. And yeah, I think he was completely justified in keeping him. I don't think there was a huge upside to getting rid of him. He wasn't going to get much money in. I don't think he's one of the highest earners we've got, and he gets important goals from the bench even if he doesn't start. So I think it was a bit of a no-brainer for him to stay.
Jake, do you think Arsenal missed Gooners?
Yeah, funny you should mention that. Yeah, I did. I think it was a big miss. Normally, Mourinho comes on and he I think he got a knock early on with massive elbow. Was that early on?
Yeah.
But yeah, Mourinho just couldn't get into the game, and I felt like Gyökeres would have stretched the defenses with his runs in behind, and I think it probably would have been a bit of a different game.
Yeah, sorry.
So I think that was the first game we've seen that. The way we play, I think Gyökeres is very important. Obviously, Mourinho came on and got those goals the other day, but yeah, I think we did miss Gyökeres stretching the defence, especially with those bigger defenders. I think he would have really, got us up the pitch.
Overall, do we think Arsenal done enough in attack, Adam?
Probably not. We did enough for half an hour, maybe 40 minutes of the game, but over 90 minutes, no. If we can maintain the levels that we had from 50 minutes to kind of 85, 90, we're going to really start kind of scoring some goals, because again, Sunderland are not an easy team to kind of score against at the Stadium of Light. And I think if we start playing like that at home and the shackles come off a little bit, then we will do it. And I think, as I say, goals breed confidence. Saka's first goal outside London for a little while. Trossard scored. I think once you start getting goals, they will start flowing a little bit. So I probably didn't do enough to convincingly win that game. I don't think we had too many complaints about the points. So probably not enough to go and win the game. No.
Jake, do you think so? Do you think we were just relying on individual brilliance again?
Yeah, I did. Obviously, in hindsight, it's different, but I do think we do need a plan B in some games. But that's the likes of Eze and Saka for them to step up, and Trossard, to be fair, because we can dominate the game all we want, but we've got to start putting the ball in the back of the net, which we have been doing. Don't get me wrong, but in those situations, these are the sort of players you want to be. The Saka, the Ezes, Gyökeres, etc., to step up and win the game, or put the game out of sight, especially. So yeah, they've been great for us all season, so it's hard to knock them really. But as I said in the first half, I was shouting at Teddy saying Saka's got to be doing more for us, and I've never ever said that before. But yeah, I think with obviously the injuries that are going to be coming back for Spurs and over the next couple of weeks, I think. It just shows that if one of the attackers isn't playing too well, we can bring Madueke on, or Havertz even. Havertz will give us a different option as well.
What do you reckon, Adam? Do you agree with that?
I do agree with that. I think, as I say, we've got a variety of options and different players coming back. I mean, Jesus, I think we forget how dangerous he can be in an Arsenal shirt. If he can find anywhere near the fitness he had when he first came and played up front for us. Even off the left, I quite like Jesus off the left on the wing. Even when Saka was injured, he played off the right. There's a variety of options, and a little bit like Jake said about Martinelli, he was a very good Champions League player, Jesus. He did very well in certain Champions League games. He's very good at unlocking tight defenses, and we're so dominant now possession-wise that he can unlock a defense sometimes, a little bit of trickery, and I think he'll be useful for that. Havertz is slightly different to Gyökeres again. Madueke is obviously a little bit different to Saka, so we've got a variety of options coming back. At the moment, we have been a little bit one-dimensional. Like once you if you do stifle us at the moment, we haven't had anything to really replace it. When you've got 6 or 7 different attacking options, like what we had when Martinelli and Trossard were kind of rotating out, I think then it's going to be really hard to defend against us when teams are tired against us for 20 minutes ago, and you're throwing Madueke on and Jesus. So, that's a big threat coming off the bench.
Okay, well, look, I want to go to. I just want to say to the audience, everyone who's watching this, let us know what you think. What we've just discussed. Do you think Arsenal got a good point or lost 2 points? Are you worried about? Do you think this is just a blimp, or have the blip come at the right time? Before the Scums game against Tottenham. Please let us know what you think. Please, once again, subscribe. Please like, please share, and let everyone know about it. Look, what I want to do now, I want to go into players' ratings, and I want to start with you, Adam. Obviously, I've put my ratings in there. You can see my ratings on this. I'm going to start with the goalkeeper. I'm going to start with Raya. Fair, or what would you give? What would you give for that?
Two really big saves. I think the fact he was at fault for the last goal, I'd probably give him a 6. He did two. It was 2 big saves, but I think the fact it cost us, I'd give him a 6. I can see why he gave him a 7, because it was 2 saves 10 minutes before that were very, very good. But I don't think it was his best day out. I think he will be hard. He's harsh on himself. He's his own worst critic, and I think he will look at it and go, "I could have been better there." So I don't think he would have seen himself as a 7. So I'd go a 6 there.
Okay, you'll go 6. He did some wonderful saves. I don't know if you remember this.
He did.
He did. Yeah, he messed up. He messed up a bit. I didn't understand. Like I said, I didn't understand why he came out to catch the ball instead of punching the ball. But I understand your explanation, which is bullshit. And but yeah, I understand. So, what do you say, Jake?
I agree with Adam's bullshit decision. I would have given him a 6. It's just for the error.
Yeah, you say you agree with him. I don't remember you saying. Okay, so what did you see him? Why do you say that he was trying to catch it instead of punching it? Then
no, he just shouldn't have come out to the ball. He should have stayed on his line. That's what I think. Because Gabriel was there.
But let's be honest, guys. That was a brilliant goal, though, wasn't it? You don't think, Adam?
Yeah, it was a good finish, especially
brilliant finish.
Yeah, from the other player, you're not really expecting to score goals. He had a big chance before that as well. But as you say, the finish was made easier by the fact that he only had to lift it over Raya.
Yeah. Just quickly, I know we spoke about it already, but what do you think Gabriel was doing when he?
I think he was caught a bit flat-footed, if I'm honest. I think I don't think he realised how close Ballard was, and I think by the time he'd reacted, it was too late.
Sorry, you're back. You got. Sorry, say again.
Apologies. I was saying, I think it was actually Gabriel's biggest strength normally is kind of getting in front of a player. I think he was caught a little bit flat-footed, and Ballard kind of snuck in behind him. It was a strange one, but yeah, I think it was very uncharacteristic for him, but they took advantage of it.
Yeah.
It was, I think, probably first defensive error I've seen from him in months.
Jake, mate, go on, Jake. What would you give me in the goalkeeper?
With Gabriel, it's interesting because if you look at like the Newcastle goal, that Voltamade header, and what was the other goal? There's been a few goals where we've conceded where Gabriel was sort of like fling himself, and he's never nowhere near the ball, and it's like he's looking for a foul. I don't think he was necessarily doing that against Sunderland, but he does have that thing in him when he knows he's beaten, he just like throws his body in front of, and that's the only negative I have about him, because apart from that, he's a top player. But that's the only thing I've seen and have evidence of, and I think it was similar against Sunderland, where he was probably nowhere near it.
What are you giving him?
Was this the player ratings bit?
After all, what are you giving him?
I'd say 6. So I'd agree with the 6.
Thank you very much. Ooh, at least we got there now.
Last time I'm agreeing with you.
All right. All right. Let's Timber. What you going for? What you going with Timber, Adam?
So, yeah, I think 7's fair. Again, does Timber do much wrong? I don't think so. Not a game that will live long in the memory. Like, he didn't have his marauding runs that he normally has, but he was as solid as ever. He doesn't really do anything wrong in my eyes. He's he's just what a player. But yeah, 7 was good.
Jake?
8, just for being Timber, mate. He's just fucking.
Yeah, no, he is. He's and think about it with him as well. He is progressing, and in recent weeks, he is finding new ways to progress, and which I've noticed, but which is good. Oh, so you're giving him a what? 8. Okay. Adam Saliba.
I don't think he was much better than Gabriel. I think the defense was a little bit ropey by their standards. I would actually give him a 6. I think when I see a Saliba 7, because he's so good, a Saliba 7 is just like really solid and no real errors. And I think I'm not saying he was at fault for either goal, but it didn't. I don't know. It wasn't as controlled as it normally was. It looked a little bit shaky between the two of them. So I don't think he was any better than Gabriel, really. So I'll go 6 as well.
Really, I think he had a lovely chance to level the score. But obviously it went way, like we said, it went way over. It's still going. I don't know where. Most probably is it DSL or something? This Express is DHL. Yeah.
Yeah. So you gave him a 7 for him missing a shot.
But no. No, I didn't know. But I mean, it was a good shot, and plus he did steady the ship as well. They were going at him. He still was strong at the back. You can't take that away from him. He never. For me, the reason why I gave Gabriel, because Gabriel is my player. I love him more than Saliba, but for me, I just thought that he looks a little bit sluggish when he went for that tackle. Went for the ball when he should have got the ball. He should have got it.
The one thing I say, Pat, is I think like when our defense is as good as it is, and we've kept 9 clean sheets in a row. When you can see 2 goals away, promoted team, I think it's quite generous to give 5 out of the 4 out the back 5, 7 out of 10. That's the way I view it.
Okay, all right. That's your view, isn't it? And
it is. I'm sticking by it.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. All right. We can all disagree to disagree. I mean, okay. All right. California, my boy. Jake.
Yeah, same as the others. To be fair, he wasn't finding himself shadow striker or anything like that in that game. So
I gave him a 7. He should have got a 6. But never mind.
Yeah, 6 or 7 for all of them, to be fair, defender wise. But Calafiori didn't really. Yeah, wasn't really. I can't really remember much about Calafiori in that game, to be honest with you.
All right, let's move on to Eze, which I never gave a score to. Sorry, bruv.
No, mate.
You went missing, mate.
Yeah, missing in action.
Sorry, bruv. You did. You went missing. But I mean, what do you reckon, Adam?
It's probably a 5 or a 6. It was tidy most of the time, but it wasn't
far off
memorable. I think by his standards, how good he can be, it was probably close to a 5. But I don't think he'd probably think he was much better than that. It was probably a generous 6 or a harsh 5, somewhere in between. 5.5 then, probably. So.
Yeah, we never really spoke about. We'll come to him in a minute, but
don't jump the gun, mate.
What?
Don't jump the gun, mate.
That's what I'd say. Don't worry about it. I'll get back to it. I'll tell you who I was very pleased with. All right, even though we conceded it, Zubamendi. I gave him an 8 because the guy, Zubamendi, what he does. I mean, all right, he gave away that free kick, but he was immense with his aerial battles and stuff as well. So, what do you reckon? Am I wrong?
No, I think he was good. I think he's probably the best out of the lot. So yeah, I wouldn't say an 8. I'd probably say a 7, just to wind you up. But yeah, he was probably the best midfielder out of the lot. So I know I was slagging off Rice, but he got the goal back. He won the ball back for our first goal. So yeah, going back to Zubamendi there.
But saying that though, did you see? Because he got a yellow card. Did you see the yellow card? The guy got the ball.
Yeah,
he literally got the ball. Literally, but VAR can't intervene with that rubbish, can they?
No.
But can he appeal about that?
No, you can't appeal a yellow.
But you can say, but look, have a look. I've got the ball.
Yeah. I think the problem is there'd be appeals for about 20 decisions a week if it was VAR.
That doesn't matter. But that's what they get paid for. Do you know what I mean? I'm sorry. What you want to lessen their workload or say? No, mate. I don't think so. Sorry. Who's is that? Adam? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think 7 for Zubamendi. Again, he was really. Yeah, I mean, again, I think just because I've seen his 8s and 9s, and he's unbelievable on an 8 and 9. That it's nothing. Again, I think for most players that'd be an 8. I think it's just how his levels are so high that I think I had that shot dipped under the bar. I'll be talking 8s and 9s. small margins. But no, like 7's not a bad like score in a 2-2 draw away when you've in the field. I'd say I thought Granit Xhaka played really well as well, and I think it was a really good battle in there. There were some really good battles, and yeah, Xhaka against Zubimendi and Rice was a really good watch, and yeah, I think that he held his own well. And I think again, slight concerns with Zubimendi coming in the summer, thinking, you know, is he going to adapt to the league? You know, I've watched him a couple of times against English teams in the Europa, and I was thinking, oh, I don't know. And he's been, there's very few performances I've been unimpressed with him by. He's been really good. He's slotted in brilliantly. And
I'll tell you one thing I want him to stop doing.
Go on.
Stop taking long throws. No, he's not good at it. I'm sorry, mate. He's not.
Zubimendi.
Huh?
Rice. Oh.
Zubimendi took a long throw.
No, Rice.
Okay, sorry. I thought we were still on Zubimendi.
Sorry, we are on Zubimendi. What the fuck am I talking about?
Sorry, it's about Rice. We were going on to him.
Because, yeah, we're going to go on to Rice now anyway. One thing I want to talk about.
One thing I want to say is about Rice.
What? No, really, that's really sorry. I'm taking a leaf out of your books, pal. Anyway, what I'm saying about Rice, I mean, I want Rice to stop doing. Jake, please stop taking long throws, mate.
He can do what the fuck he wants, that man.
Yeah, but he's not getting it. He's long throws. When he throws,
he's Sunderland bringing the advertising boards for us as well.
What's that about? What is it? I mean, we're jumping the gun again, but what's that about? What's that about? Is that true?
Yeah.
Did they bring the advertising board in?
Yeah.
What made me laugh at it was like we haven't scored one goal from a long throw in this summer, though, and everyone's talking about like what genius it was to stop Arsenal. We haven't scored from a long throw in yet. So what are we trying to stop here?
I don't know.
It would have been better if they'd taken the corner flags out or built a wall around the corner flag. Like, that'd have been more.
But what do you reckon? What do you reckon, Adam? I mean, about him. I mean, it wasn't his greatest game, was it?
No, it wasn't his greatest game. But again, you know, like Declan's bad games are generally pretty good. You know,
this is where physiology, the physical part is coming in.
Yeah, and he said as Jake said, he won the ball really high up for that goal, and we don't score that goal without him winning that ball. And even in games where you think, oh, he wasn't at his best, he has moments. And it was at one point where we were really under the cosh. He put a huge tackle and it went past about 2 or 3 players, and he just drives us out of it and just gives the defense a bit of a breather. And it's just, for me, I'm not sure I'd be any more worried about anyone else than him getting injured. Him and Zubimendi for me are possibly the most.
But he lost out. He lost out in the physical tussle. That's what gave us got that goal.
Yeah. I mean, look, everyone's going to be perfect, but if we lost him for a period of time, I'd be concerned. I really would. If for me, nothing against Norgard, I think he's a good player, but I think the drop off from Rice or Zubimendi to the kind of the other midfielders isn't quite the same level. So I think those two stay fit, and I think we win the league. I'm not saying we don't win it without them, but I think I'm very confident with those two staying fit.
So what are you giving him?
6, I think, because again, I think he was not quite at his top level.
Okay, Jake.
Yeah, 6 again.
Give him 6.
For Rice's standards, had a little wobble, but he brought it back for that equaliser. But yeah, 6.
Okay. Did we talk about? We spoke about Eze. Yeah, we've done. We did speak about Eze, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's move on to. All right, quickly about Trossard. All right, we spoke about him in length. What do you reckon? Is that a fair mark?
Yeah, somewhere between a 7 and 8. I think.
Mark.
Yeah, no, I think it is.
Thank you.
I think if you score a goal of that quality, then you probably deserve an 8. It was probably our goal of the season so far, in my opinion.
That was brilliant. Yeah. That was brilliant. I mean, honestly,
it flashed past the keeper, and it was you know what it was? It was one of the first goals in weeks. So I've gone, Jesus. You know, like most of our goals have been, kind of quite predictable set pieces, or kind of like, kind of not tap-ins, but kind of, and that was our whole, whoa, where did that come from? And I think the best thing about the goal was when we really desperately needed it as well. We were dominating the ball, but we weren't quite creating the chances to go and win the game, and it was like, wow, like that could have, and it didn't win us the game, but it felt like at the moment it was like, wow, we've just done something really unbelievable to go and win that game. And I think we need a little bit more of that. We've got some very talented long range shooters in the midfield, and I think he showed why we should be shooting a little bit more from that range rather than passing it to death at times.
Absolutely. I'm glad you agree with me that we do pass it to death too many times, too much. Anyway, what do you give Do you agree with the score, Jake?
Yeah. Yeah, 8 was great for him. It's like Adam said, it's like we're so not used to seeing these long shots from outside the box and or just outside the box.
The only person I know who does those who did those things was Partey.
Yeah. But yeah, it was, I was glad for him. I thought that would have been a great moment for him personally if we did go on and win that game, for that goal to win it. And obviously you'll get all the plaudits for that goal. But yeah, it was just frustrating that obviously we drew it. But yeah, again, he's being consistent at the minute, so I'm happy.
Cool.
It's probably fair.
All right. I'm going to go back to you, mate. Jake, Saka. I gave him an 8.
I'll give him a 7. I got on his back against Sunderland. I just felt like he was doing nothing for us. He was receiving
Really?
the ball.
I thought he played really, really, really well for Arsenal. For us.
Not that first half.
Oh no! Yeah. Sorry. The first half, none of them.
Not even the second half. He got the goal, but he still was just
none of them were good in the second.
I feel like he normally cuts in and he's always pinging them back posts. Those lovely crosses he normally does. We weren't seeing any of that. I just felt like it wasn't his night that night. So I'd give him a 7.
Okay, Adam.
Agreed. I think if you show me Saka 8 before the game, I'm probably thinking maybe a brace, maybe goal and assist. I think dominating the game. That's for me. Saka's 8 is a very high 8. You know, like his levels are very high, and I think it was a solid performance and a good goal. But that's why I'd give a 7.
Okay, fine. So last one and not least, Mourinho. We haven't really spoke about him. I mean, obviously he had a really bad knock. Very briefly, did you guys think it was a penalty?
No, I didn't. I think if that was given the other end, I'd be questioning it. Don't get me wrong, we've had penalties like that given against us. I'm not pretending we haven't. But if I'm being really fair, I think it was in a fairly natural position. Don't get me wrong, he's caught him with the elbow, but I don't think it was one of those ones that was intentional. I think the fact Mourinho was kind of slightly beaten to the ball. I don't think it was personally.
Okay. What do you say, mate?
Yeah, it wasn't the best performance from Mourinho. I think he couldn't really get into the game. He was getting beaten up a little bit. And yeah, we did miss Gyökeres. And normally we weren't really getting high enough the pitch to put Mourinho in those areas where he can really affect the game, i.e. in the box. And he wasn't really winning the ball and bringing other players into play like he usually does. So yeah, I might go for a 5 just to be really harsh, just to wind you up again. But not his best game. But he when he does normally play, he does normally bring something. So yeah, just one of them games. Okay, well, once again, everyone in the chat, please let us know what you think about our scores to the players, the individual players. Let us know what you think. Put your scores in there. Let us know. And any one of them's good, we'll read them out for the next one. What I would like to do now, I just want to talk a little bit about the players that are coming back, just very, very quickly, guys, on some of the players, because like with Jesus, there's something big off the pitch talks about Jesus reportedly like linking him back to Brazil. But it was Arteta has blocked the move for January. What do you guys say about that?
Well, you can't lose Jesus before Christmas, so no. Thanks. No, I just don't. Again, I don't think we need the money, and I think he's still a useful asset. So I just think I wouldn't be entertaining it at this point unless he was making noise about going. But I don't get that feeling that he's making, kind of kicking up about going. I think the weird thing was as many kind of attacking signs we've made, I still think people like Havertz, Madueke, and Jesus will look at this team and go, I can force my way into it because there's no one's really taking it by the scruff of the neck. Gyökeres has been good, but he's not nailed down the position by any means. Like, there will be rotation. I think Jesus will get more minutes than we probably thought he would 3 months ago, if he gets the level he can do. So I don't see it happening personally.
What do you think, Joe?
It's difficult with Jesus because it's annoying because every time he starts to look like a proper player, he gets bloody injured. So yeah, I'd still keep him for the rest of the season and use him in unless we get someone in to replace him in January, of course. But I personally keep him till the end of the season, and as a winger or even number 9 coming in late on, he can offer us something. So
it's really good. I mean, think about it, guys. Think about who's coming back. I mean, we'll get into that in a bit. But we've got Jesus coming back. We got Kai Havertz coming back. We got Nunu coming back. We got Odegaard coming back. Who else is there?
Gyökeres.
Gyökeres coming back. I mean, that is exciting. That is exciting. I mean, I don't think they could throw him in straight in. We're going to talk about the North London derby thing just quickly, but I don't think they could throw him straight in. All those guys are going to be thrown straight in for the North London derbies. But who would you want to put in there first, up front?
I think Gyökeres has to come back in for the derby. I think he was stretched. Again, you look at Spurs, he's kind of back to, and I think they need to be stretched a little bit. Van de Ven, he's very, very quick, but he needs to be dragged a little bit all over the place. We need to kind of try and isolate Romero a little bit, because Romero's, again, for me, I've always said he's overrated. He's not the most mobile. If you get him one-on-one, you can get at him. I think Van de Ven's obviously a harder ass to go and run him behind. But if Gyökeres can kind of keep Van de Ven busy, then I think we've got opportunities to try and kind of, attack Spurs. The rest of their defense is not great. So for me, Gyökeres is going to be important. He's back fit for that. I think Mourinho up front against Spurs I think they would deal with him okay. I think that their centre backs would handle Mourinho's threat is fairly well. I think Gyökeres will be a little bit more of a handful for them. So I think he'd be important. And equally, I think I'd like to see Madueke back for Spurs, because, again, I think it's one of those nervy games where sometimes you need a little bit of creativity to go and create a bit of magic. And I think, again, if he can get in behind, win a penalty, or try and get a little kind of just get a little cutback, cause a bit of chaos, especially even if it's the last 20 minutes. And say the game's tight, or we've God forbid when we're losing or drawing, then can he come on and just do something a little bit different? So I think it's something like him, creativity wise, could be really big for us.
Yeah. Right. Do you want to say what? Now we spoke about all that, I just want to jump. I just want to look forward, look ahead, just quickly. The North London derby. It looks all right. All right, we've got Tottenham. We've got Tottenham at home after the international break. For me, I don't know about everyone else, but this is a must-win for us. This is it's got more than points. That's the way I see it. More than points. But anyway, how big is the game? How big is the game? Not just about points, like I just mentioned, but for the momentum and after dropping dropping points for Sunderland. Adam,
it's massive. I think if we drop points against Spurs, not only is it like it's momentum, the bottle narrative starts getting a little bit more momentum. I think the fact that they start kind of they're the ones that rein us in a little bit, and they can really give it. Oh, Arsenal are kind of falling apart already. I think if we go and beat Spurs, all that goes away. We maintain a minimum of 4-point lead. City goes to Newcastle as well, which isn't an easy game at any point. So, there's no guarantee it would still be 4 points if we do beat Spurs. And it's always a big game. Again, people say form goes out the window in this game. It's absolute nonsense. Like, most of the time, they've beaten us, once at the Emirates in 20 odd years, and twice in the Premier League era. And I think, we generally do turn up in these big games, and I think if we don't turn up and they go and turn us over, then I would start worrying, because they've got a very good away record, but they're not playing brilliantly. Frank's under a bit of pressure there already. The Spurs fans are getting on his back a little bit about the football they're playing. United weren't at their best on Saturday, and they still didn't beat them. I just think, everything about this guy. I was looking at the odds the other day. It's the shortest price I've seen us to beat Spurs at home in years. I think Spurs are 7-1 to beat us at the Emirates, and I mean that's going back to the kind of mid 2000s times when we were winning leagues and they were mid table. So that it would be a huge upset, I think, if they've got something. So I think psychologically it'd be an even bigger upset when I think that we're probably really expected to win. There's been a lot of years where it's been a little bit tight, and they've come with Kane and Son and the Dembele's, and you go, "Oh, this is a bit of a tough arse today." I'd be surprised. I'd be massively surprised if they got something out of us. And if they did, I'd start worrying it was a little bit more than it was getting a little bit psychological.
Jake, what are you expecting from the Spurs game? Do you think that they pose this kind of threat that Arsenal need to be aware of, or you're not really worried? What's your take on it?
It's a one-off game for me, so I this is the most nervous I get because this is the biggest game of the season for me. So and all of us, I imagine. But yeah, I think last year it was a night game, won it 2-1. Again, probably wasn't a great game. I think all the goals were scored in the first half from memory, and then we were just like not hanging on, but it felt like we were hanging on for the whole second half. And then the year before that, I think it was 2-2 on it. So yeah, it's obviously a massive game for us. We need to. It's interesting because we've got Spurs, Bayern Munich, and Chelsea, and I'd rather put all our eggs in the Premier League basket. Maybe not take a hit, but maybe make a bit more of a rotation in the midweek against Munich at home, and just get your 6 points out of these two games from Spurs and Chelsea. But yeah, I think with Spurs, they always come to the Emirates and sort of go for it. Do you know what I mean? So and see it as a bit of a free hit, I'd say. So yeah, we've got to be on it. We owe them a bit of a hide-in, so hopefully we can do that. But yeah, it's going to be a very, very tough game. If we get the first goal, I can maybe see us going on and doing 2-3-0. But if they get the first goal, I can see it being a bit hard work. So fingers crossed we'll come away with a clean sheet and 3 points.
Would you make any changes to the first 11 for this one, or maybe stick with what's been working, Adam?
No, I'd stick with it. I think Gyökeres for Marino from Saturday would be the only thing I would change. I think the defence picks itself. I think Rice and Zubimendi pick itself. I think, again, Trossard scored, a goal against them at home last year, a good goal against them. And I think, again, in derby games where the chances aren't at a premium and sometimes you need to unpick a defence, he does kind of produce in those big games. I probably would start Trossard, especially the fact that Martinelli's not been fit. I think if you are in trouble and you've got the pace of Martinelli and Madueke to come on late on, then that's a really good asset to have. But no, I wouldn't make any changes apart from Gyökeres for Marino if everyone's fit.
Hopefully, this could be an Eze moment.
Yeah,
that sort of game where you can
Okay.
put a stamp on it.
Everyone else everyone's listening to this. What do you think? Is this the perfect moment to bounce back, or does it come at a tricky time? Send us your thoughts. Are you confident ahead of the North London derby? Are you guys really confident? I'm going to ask you. I know we don't want to talk about it, but what's the score, Adam?
I want to go 2-0. I think we will. I think we'll step up, and I think, as I say, I think if we do go ahead, I think their heads will drop, and I think we'll win 2-0.
Right. What's yours, Jake?
I'm going to say 2-1.
Don't even give them a score, mate. Listen.
The 2-1 last week and we fucked it up. So I don't know, maybe I should.
I don't even give them a score. I'm going for a 2-0, mate. I'm going for a 2-0. I think. Yes, I do remember. And who was that? Who was that slip up? Who made that slip for them to score to get a draw?
Who? What do you mean?
Do you remember when they played us? Obviously, when they played us at our ground, and was it a 1-1?
With a 2-0?
Was it 2-0? Who
Jorginho.
was that? Yeah, do you remember that? I thought, what the fuck is he doing? What was he doing?
Yeah.
Oh, that really hurt, mate. That really hurt. Right, brilliant stuff, lads. Well, thanks so much. Thanks so much for joining me, and to all the Gooners who are listening. The Sunderland game was just, personally, I think was a blip. So. Listen, we'll be back. We'll bounce back. Let us know what you think. Do you think Arsenal will bounce back? Do you think Arsenal on our next game, do you think we'll beat the Scums? Obviously, the Tottenham. Please let us know what you think. And any good ones, good comments, we'll read them out. I just want to once again say thanks to Jake.
Cheers, Paul.
And thanks, Addy.
Cheers, Pat.
Cheers, boys. And everyone else, look, please subscribe. Please follow. Please share the likes. And please comment and let us know. And hopefully we'll see you on the next one after the Tottenham. Or it might be, I think it will be before the Tottenham. And after that, we'll have a celebration. So thanks, everyone. Please follow, please subscribe, and please share.